Dane, your thoughts on pitch?
Let's not waste any time. You got to ask yourself the question: is that a good advertisement for our format? 34 wickets in 2 days, pretty one-sided affair, I would say. So I think it kind of leads into what everyone's thinking, actually. I'm obviously a purist of this format, and we want to see the game go to 4 or 5 days. And yeah, just the way, the nature of it, how it started to play with some seriously steep bounce with the old ball. I mean, you kind of hiding to none as a batting unit. I mean, if you think about it, only 2 batsmen, maybe 3 batsmen, only like applied themselves half decently and scored runs. So yeah, I don't think it was a very good test wicket, no.
Just on that, do you think it reached a point today where you would call it unsafe, or was it heading in that direction just to be a batter out?
I did ask the umpires when was it KG got head out down leg. I mean, I said, like, how long does it go on for until it potentially is unsafe? And then Nortje was bowling those short ones that were flying over our heads. So I know the game was dead and buried. It was never to try and change or put a halt to the game, no doubt. But I don't know, that's obviously where the umpire's discretion comes into play, not us as players. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to answer, really. So yeah.
The way Nortje bowled at the end there, especially, was that you said pretty quick and pretty short. Was it even though you probably couldn't win at that point? Was that a point to prove from your point of view in terms of what message you were trying to send there?
Yeah, it was obviously, let's try and see if we can open some old scores. Purely just bring in our intensity and maybe get them 3-4 down, and those batters going into Melbourne with maybe a little bit less confidence. It worked out nicely. Result aside, I guess it was one of the game plans that worked out for us over the last 2 days. Can't say there were many, but yeah, at least that one did work out for us.
So, the way the pitch was flying sometimes, was it because it had been a bit soft initially and divoted with the ball, and it was then hitting the divots?
Yeah.
Really
And then what happens is the edges of the divots actually start to get harder, and they become a little bit more abrasive because the wicket starts drying out. Back home, the wicket's also prone to like create those divots, and yeah, it becomes a handful. But generally, that only happens later on in the game, where those divots actually start playing quite a big role. But yeah, this one seemed to start yesterday already. But yeah, again, I'm not a curator of a field. I wouldn't know how to prepare a cricket pitch. But yeah, it was interesting to see how quickly this one actually did start divoting and how quickly the ball sped up, especially the new ball. And also today, the older ball was flying through, which shouldn't be really happening. But yeah, the divots definitely had quite a big role to play, especially with the sideways movement and then up and down, and then obviously the ball that's got that steep bounce, which is quite something to face.
It's quite dangerous, isn't it, when it gets to that point?
Yeah, but the game was as good as finished, I guess. But I'm definitely not going to say it was unsafe or it wasn't safe. I'm not going to refer to that, no.
What do you take out of that bravado spell at the end? I know the game was gone, but look, you might have left a message there for the Australians. What do you take out of it in your team?
Confidence, I think, is obviously a massive figure for us not just in our bowling group, but within our 16-man squad. When he puts his hand up like that, I mean, it's difficult not to follow that. So I think what you'll find is that really got Nortje fired up as well, and he was starting to crank it up even more. So those are nice things to have within our ranks. Hopefully that can inspire our batting unit to get their heads right and to knuckle down and get some performances under their belt for us come the next game.
Dean, when you asked the question of the umpires about the safety of what was going on out there, did they give you a response?
No. It was, there were only a handful of runs left, so I think maybe they thought I was just trying to take the mickey or whatever the case is. But I mean, it's not a bad reference point going forward to get a reply. But yeah, I don't see it changing anything really. But no, there wasn't a reply.
Can I ask you also about, maybe opening up some mental scars for the Australian batsmen going into the next test? He's one of those, David Warner. Do you feel like your bowlers?
Not just him. I think all of them. We're always trying to find another way to have an edge over your opposition. And if this was a way of maybe getting into their mind further, brilliant. I know a guy like KG is most probably the most feared bowler that we have, purely because of his reputation and record. So if he's got that confidence running into the next guys, it's brilliant for us. So we're always looking for the edge. Even though the result didn't go our way, we're still looking for that. We're still trying to find ways to get into guys' heads. So yeah, it wasn't the worst exercise.
So, pitch notwithstanding, well, how do you go away from a test then like this, where obviously the pitch played quite a role when it looks at the batting? Because we obviously talked about their batting a lot before this. Do you go away and kind of put a lot of stuff down to the conditions, or do you look at perhaps changing the team, or how do you refocus and that from the batting after something like that?
I think all options are available at the moment. Yeah, they're all on the table, don't get me wrong. But I think you still have to go away and give your batters the confidence and the positivity. Yeah, I think the guys in the change room have played enough cricket to know that this was maybe one of those incidences where let's be honest and let's be real about what's just happened. And it's not like our guys were throwing wickets away. We were getting absolutely jaffed out really, and they bowled properly. You got to be mindful and take all of that into consideration. So yeah, it's definitely the way I'll be approaching that. And yeah, coming into this game, our batters were confident. We prepared bloody well, and we played the warm-up game where most of the guys got some good runs and time in the middle. So it's not like the confidence is low. I think we just need to be realistic around what's just happened, and obviously try and rectify it. We do have extra days now where the guys need to tap into the mental spaces, which is, I think, their biggest enemy at the moment, because you can really withdraw yourself from what's happened instead of actually facing it and learning from it. So yeah, that would be my approach going forward for our group.
Just on the extra days you have now, after a result like this, do you just take time away from cricket, or are you the kind of captain who wants everybody to just jump back into the nets like tomorrow or day after and just start looking at the next game already?
I mentioned this already in the past 4 or 3 interviews I've done. I can't see us hitting more balls and becoming better cricketers. I think we've played the game long enough in our own personal careers. I think the guys know their games pretty well already, but hitting another 100 balls or 200 balls a day, it's not going to make you a better cricketer. I speak from a personal point of view, it's not going to make me a better cricketer. It's just one of those games where you failed, and that's how I view it. But I know that personally I'm still confident going into the next one. But we will definitely break it down and have chats, and for me, I'd rather see the guys not do anything until we get to Melbourne. But that's just me. There's other guys that potentially might feel they need to go do stuff, and I'm sure the coaching staff will give them the best opportunity to be ready for the next test. There are many ways, I guess, and also availability of facilities is also big for us being able to give those players opportunity to get themselves in a better space.
Talk about your batting that day. Was it tempting to play Brian after he scored runs? Looked very confident until that. What did you look at now? Where's he for the next test?
Look, the option of the 7 batters, 4 seamers was very much a talking point, but I like having a specialised spinner. We don't even get to day 3 let alone day 4 and day 5 where the wickets most probably are going to start to spin. So Kesh's role was kind of nullified by the game being ended in 2 days. So I'm still very much a captain who wants a spinner because he gives us a lot of control and he allows our seamers to have that extra break where you can rotate them from the one end. Yeah, it's tough to rotate 4 seamers the whole time. If you go with a 7-4 split, again, all options are on the table going into the next one. I think you have to be open-minded because you have to make the right decision for what you feel is necessary at that point in time or for that specific game. De Bruyne is obviously the next batter in. He's massively in a great space, I know, because I'm his teammate back home as well. So I know he's he's got a lot of confidence and he's scored runs back home and he's scored runs now in the warm-up game, which is great. And so I know he's a guy that we can bring in potentially who's going to give us that extra boost.